We're here with the man himself, Mark. How you doing?
Very good, Dimitri.
Good,
Thank
good
you
to
so
see
much
you.
for having
Yeah.
me.
Oh, you
Great to
got
see
a little thing too.
I sure do.
I still have these on. They're like all worn and torn.
Oh, I'm gonna have to start collecting more now. I'm a rookie.
Yeah. No, this is actually what's interesting. I was interesting. You know, Josh from Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Josh from Raw, he has two reds and two blacks, just like this. And we were like doing one of these interviews, and we like look at each other's thing.
that's
We're
so
like
fun.
Wonder Twin Power.
Wonder Twin,
So,
activate.
but I gotta get new ones. So, how's the show been for you?
This is great. I mean, Maryland is our second year here. It's since I've been doing this for 10, 11 years, I actually find like the new shows the most exciting because you're reaching out and learning who the leaders and kind of community supporters are. So to be able to come in and meet with all the local groups and advocates and bring them together, there's so much excitement, and it's a lot about education and normalization and bringing people on board. Obviously, it's great when a show gets huge like Boston, but it becomes, it's business, which is terrific, but I'm not really a part of that. I'm part of more of like the community and building. So this is like having a little kid. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, as we've been here, we've met a lot of processors, cultivators, license holders, dispensary people, owners and stuff. And they, it's interesting because I know them and I'll meet them and I'll watch them sprayed by like ships in the night. No, they don't know each other and stuff.
Right.
And but what all you can do is put together the forum, and then how people connect at the conferences is
Right.
kind of up to them.
Absolutely. And that's, and I have to say,
And you put together the forum.
and I've interviewed with you guys a couple of times, and I think I have to almost like interview you now, because when I talk about how we grow these from the bottom up, one of the most important things are the people that are out doing the work. And as I watch you guys around the country during the year, I literally get tired watching you guys. And for those of you guys who don't know, because they don't get interviewed, but Dimitri and his team, these guys they're just you guys are tireless promoters of the industry. Like you said, you're bringing people together. People on both sides that don't talk. So to have people like you in the industry to make it go when there's so many organizations and like, oh, we're a trade organization with this and that, and they just collect memberships. But I see you guys out day after day, year after year, working and spreading it. So I really appreciate you guys coming out here, being here. You provide such value, and we really appreciate
No,
it.
thank you. And to those members actually that work closer with us, that connect with us and text us and are on top of us and hanging out with us, they end up like peeling off business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we have databases and stuff, but you really got to stay on top of people. Even myself or Destiny or any other member of our team, you got to stay on top of them. They remember you said that insurance thing. So we do that, and at the shows, we just that's one of the main things we do. We help facilitate connections and networking. So
that's the most
education.
valuable piece. And the tough thing is because a lot of people are very good at business and they're not terrific at that networking going. So to have an organization that'll actually do that, like matchmaking for them, it's an incredibly vital source. So I see it all the time. I walk the floor and I'm like, you're going to tell me it was a bad show. You're going to tell me it's a bad show. Your staff sitting in the back of your booth and your phones, or you're not putting yourself out there. And so to have professionals who know what they're doing and give that guidance, it's a very important piece.
Yeah, and it's upon people like us and individuals like you to keep on facilitating new ways and better ways to help bring people together. Very unique kind of role in society.
Yeah, it is.
I like it.
And certainly when you've got an industry that has a lot of like just all the garbage that we've dealt with through the years and all the negative impressions, to be able to be out in front and talk openly and embrace it and say, this is who we are and we're proud of it, and you should join us, and look at, here's the science, here's all these smart people, here's all the talent in the room, and here's the opportunities. People need to hear that, and they need to be brought in.
So Necann has a Miami show. You partner with the Canadelics out there.
Yeah, Pete Sessa, who's been doing Canadelic for years, and we've been talking over the last year or so. He's a programming guy. Like, he brings together the great speakers, and he has that great feeling event. And he reached out and said, he could use some help operationally. And we've always looked at Florida. I'm like, there's a lot of shows down there. I don't want to kind of bop in and be the nobody sixth show. So to be able to partner with somebody who has a reputation of putting on good events down there and knows the community there was a good opportunity for us.
And when's that show?
It's in 2 weeks. It's the 23rd or 22nd and 23rd of May.
22nd, 23rd. And we're going to try to be out there. Probably with the Florida market in general, for everyone, for events, for networking, for associations, for ancillary, for auxiliary, for entrepreneurs, for citizens, for employees, is the licensing structure is so limited. So it creates a limited amount of opportunity for people.
Yeah, and it's most of our traditional exhibitors, you know, our client list, they're not going to come to that show because they can't see a concrete opportunity yet. It's more maybe they'll come to network.
No, yeah,
And then you also have the fact that Florida, much like California, it's like you can say it's Florida, but you can go to Miami. The people from upstate aren't coming to Miami, and you know
yeah.
you could theoretically do 3 shows in Florida, and it's just too big of a state to think that everybody's going to come to one event.
Speaking of that, why isn't there a Necann Los Angeles?
You know, it's a funny thing. Like as we started in Massachusetts back in what 2014, and we're doing it, we're like, well, nobody's out here, and that's where we are, so we kept doing it. And I'm always of the mind of like I don't really want to be the third or fourth show in a market and then like try to fight to be the biggest one. I'm like, if someone else is doing it, and we just watch so many people do shows in California and struggle,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I'm going out there. Nobody knows what Nican is, and I don't know anyone out there. And I'm like, boy, if the people out there are struggling, you know, is it something that I'm going to struggle? I see, like, you know, Hall of Flowers is a great show.
Yeah, they did a good job.
NCIA had a decent show for a couple of years there. But maybe I'm just chicken. I don't know, but I haven't really thought about California to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's interesting. I never. There's not a lot of Anaheim, Santa Ana, Los Angeles based larger shows.
I mean, I know CanaCon did one in Santa Rosa, I think a couple of years ago that didn't really go that well. Like, you know, and I don't mean anything against them. I just don't know if there was a critical mass of interest. I'm not that familiar with the event business in California to speak that intelligently on it.
What's after Miami for Necann this year?
We take the summer off and work on 2026, and then our final 2 shows we have a huge
That's good
show.
planning.
Yeah, we have a huge show in New Jersey in early September. That's our second biggest show and one of the biggest shows in the country. And then we do Rochester, New York in late September. That's our last show of the year.
What are the dates on New Jersey? September.
It's the first weekend. I want to say it's either 4th and 5th or 5th and 6th. You'd think
Atlantic City.
that's Atlantic City.
Yeah, that should be a pretty big show.
That was last year. That was the third biggest show in the country. We've partnered with some local guys, the 420 NJ events, who are huge in New Jersey.
Right.
They bring in a lot of programming and brands for us. We expect it to grow again. That show will be like 250 booths and 5,000 attendees probably this year.
That's gonna be a great show. You're saying that after New Jersey is what?
Rochester, which
Rochester.
is bouncing around upstate in New York,
Yeah.
kind of like all the events, just trying to stay alive and have an event until that market really shows what it is. But I will say in New York, there are so many good local events that I don't know if like the outside people doing shows, I don't know if we have a long-term future in New York. We'll be there, but I think there's so many local shows there that of value and work. That might be what happens there.
And then so that's it for 2025.
Yeah.
But the 2026, you got Boston coming up in what month?
Well, it's for the first time in 10 years, it's going to actually be in April, just because the venue is closed.
Well,
in
that's okay.
January, February, March.
You just increased your show. You just made it better.
Well, I hope.
No,
so.
April Boston is perfect.
Well, it's certainly better weather-wise than March. Boston.
Right.
It's a lot better.
Oh no. Is there what are the drawbacks on that?
Well,
That's
for me, it's just the comfortability of the fact that people have always had it in their schedule, and then maybe they're doing something in April. But I don't think it's gonna be a problem at all.
Do you have the dates on April yet?
It's
Lots.
like 23rd and 24th. It's
Okay.
literally the first weekend after 420.
Okay, so yeah, there's a little bit of you have to figure that out, but that's okay. But to be in Boston, the last weekend of April is the best weekend to be in Boston.
I mean, it's going to be beautiful. It's beautiful.
Absolutely
weather
gorgeous.
at that time.
April 15th is the marathon, right?
Right. Yeah.
Is that the same date every year?
It's always
Monday.
Patriots Day. It's
Patriots
Monday, which is just a
Around April 15th.
Maine and Massachusetts holiday.
Oh, I'm excited about that already.
Yeah, I mean, we have 100 booths pre-sold for that event.
Oh, look at that! So save the date. That's good advance notice. Anything else planned for 2026?
Yeah, we partnered with a group for a small Pittsburgh medical show this year. We're going to actually expand that and move it to Philadelphia. And that's actually going to be in April next year, probably.
As well.
Yeah, probably like a week away from Boston, just limited by availability of dates. We don't want them that close, but that'll probably be in April as well.
Isn't Philadelphia about to switch to adult use?
They hope.
Close,
It's
right?
very close, but much like most of the states, until the vote or the bill actually comes in, it always feels like it's 50-50, right?
You could be catching a little bit of a lightning bug there.
That's what we hope.
Yeah.
I mean, people have been asking us about Pennsylvania for years, and I'm like, it just feels too early. But again, similar to Canadelic, we had a couple of guys down there who reached out to us and said, "Would you like to, partner on an event?" It was just too good of an opportunity to pass.
Anything else? So you got Philadelphia, Boston.
And then we have our other shows. Like right now, we're actually doing a show in Vermont right now. Half of our staff is in Burlington, Vermont, doing that. So
Yeah.
we'll continue to do that show. And then, we'll continue, I assume, to do Canadelic in New York and New Jersey. Probably no more expansion for next year. It's really hard to predict, though. Like you can't plan that far ahead in anybody in the cannabis industry, but certainly for us for events, I can say I want to do an event, but I would put it easy example. Like 3 years ago, everybody had a show booked in Virginia, and then the rec program didn't take off, and everybody just canceled them. But we all had it on our P&L and our plan. We're going to do a Virginia show. I had a place booked, and I ended up just saying, "This isn't worth it. We're not coming."
Well, I know the pressure involved in shows. We tried to do a show the 2014, 2015, and we realized it was nice. It was fun. You might make a little bit of money, but it's a lot of work.
It's not a side job.
It's just not. It's not a hobby.
No.
And I mean, it's difficult, but if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. And this has been a really good one. So we thank you for your hospitality, and everybody loves working with you, which is great. That's one of the good parts of the cannabis industry, is meeting nice people
Absolutely
that are trying to build a community, trying to help people network, trying to educate, make a living, feed their family. You're not going to get rich off of cannabis conferences.
Nope.
And really, truly, you should know that you're probably not going to get rich off the cannabis industry. You'll be able to make a living. Don't come into the cannabis industry thinking somehow there's a pot of gold out there, because that's not the reality.
Nope. There's too many people. I mean, everybody wants a piece, and you can have a good life and you can have a good business, but not get rich quick.
Definitely, absolutely. And even with plant touching, retail, cultivators, processing, all these, the brands. My God, the brands are struggling. Brands. People are getting paid $50,000, $150,000 a year, and they're investing every single penny back in.
Yeah.
And they're praying they're going to make it.
Right.
People think that all these, you got a cannabis brand, you're rich. No, that's just not the way it is.
The good part of that is it shows that it's a good opportunity, and there's that many people interested. And I always make it, like a silly thing, but kind of like a sports team. It's like, well, 200 people are going to try out for the team. The 150 of them are going to get cut. That doesn't mean the team's in trouble. It means more people want it in than can be sustained. So people are going to lose, and that's unfortunate, but it's a sign that people see an opportunity and like it and want to be in. And it's just, you have to be prepared. Like, you can't just come in. You've got to come in and outwork and outsmart and out hustle a very talented group of competitors. So come in to win.
Absolutely. So we really appreciate your time. So if you're out there in the cannabis industry, ancillary, auxiliary, cultivation, seeds, deliveries, operators, manufacturers, brands, retailers, entrepreneurs, and you're interested in getting your feet wet in cannabis, we highly recommend the Necann series. Marc's really good to work with. He knows a lot of people. So, it's a lot different than trying to jump in to some other way. Small marketing budget with you, $10,000, $20,000 go a long way.
Absolutely.
That's a really smart move to make. So we highly recommend people get involved in the Necann series this year. There's still room for New Jersey. There's still room for Rochester.
Absolutely.
And then, but 100%, I'm certain we will see you at Boston 2026. So any closing thoughts? Anything?
The only thing I would say, just to remind people, like I said earlier, if you're in this industry and you are struggling with your voice and you want somebody who can work for you and advocate for you, I mean, I can't recommend Mita enough. I watch people. Honestly, I see all the groups and the organizations, and then I say, well, are they really working? So again, I appreciate everything you guys do, and it's very valuable.
Thank you. Yeah, we really value this relationship as well, and it's been great at this show. Lots of great connections, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, and that's about it. Everybody enjoy. Maybe we'll see everybody at Camden Yards again tonight. It was a fun game.
Oh yeah, and the home team won.
Yes,
I mean, it was all these vendors and all these license holders. They're all hanging out at the outfield. And nobody's a Baltimore fan. Let's be honest.
Right.
No, nobody's a Kansas City Royals fan. We're all enjoying the game, and suddenly a 2-run home run, and the game, everybody's water and champagne and stuff going everywhere.
Fireworks.
Beautiful.
It was a perfect experience here in Baltimore. So thank you, Marc, for being our host.
Thank you so
It's
much.
been great. Thank you so much. And that was another episode of Mita Unshackled.